Hello and welcome. Saying yes to you and why you don't. I'm Claudia Braun, holistic mindset and lifestyle coach for women who are really good at saying yes to other people and for other people, and not necessarily as good at saying yes to themselves or for themselves. So, this is for you. This podcast is an opportunity to get a window into you, have a place to be seen, to explore options, see another way beyond what life feels like now. So here we are at the beginning of 2025, and what better way than the beginning of the new year to start taking on a whole new way of being? When I was thinking about creating this podcast 3 years ago, it took me a while to say yes to me and the voice within me that wanted to be shared with you. So I like hearing people's stories, and here's a little bit of my story. When I was a little kid, I had a radio show. It was called Ramon and Mrs. Beasley. And I got my friends together and we created this radio show in my basement. And I gave each one of them scripts to read, and we could act this out and play it together. And decades later, it's still one of my favorite memories of my childhood. That memory has fueled my desire to be here in front of this microphone because I have a love of telling stories. I have a love of sharing. I have a love of speaking because I know that in my life, I have grown through other people's stories, other people's storytelling, and I love being able to share what I've learned to be able to help others grow and move beyond where they think they have to be. As a child, one of my favorite shows was Fraser Thomas, and he would read Aesop's fables, and there was always a movie that went with the story. And I thought, this is so great that you can learn from stories. And years later, when I was in an aspect of my business doing some network marketing, and they always said, facts tell, but stories sell. And stories sell us to move beyond where we are. They move us to take some action. So I want you to consider your 2024 as we are in the beginning of 2025. To consider 2024 and what happened for you. What happened that you feel really happy about? What happened you don't feel so happy about? And what is it that you wished would have happened? What do you wish you had done differently? Because these are questions for you to contemplate and to consider as you are thinking about this year ahead. And as we think about these questions, we can begin to create a 2025 that feels different, that is different than 2024. One of the things I know as a coach, as somebody who's been on a emotional journey, spiritual journey for decades, is that we don't change by doing the same thing. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And when we are caught in a pattern, we are insane. We are doing the same thing over and over again and expecting it to bring us different results. So if your 2024 looks like 2023 or 2022 or 2021, there's some level of insanity this is an opportunity to start looking at, what do you want different for 2025? So I think, what a perfect time to be launching a podcast, because I know that one of the things I want differently is to be getting my voice out there. I've talked about this podcast for a few years, and clearly I wasn't ready. But the day my microphone arrived, I felt truly excited and knew that, okay, here it is. I'm ready. I've been a podcast guest for 10 years. I started my coaching business in 2013, and I've been a guest on podcasts really ever since. So I guess over 10 years. And really never occurred to me that I wanted my own podcast till about 3 years ago. But then I didn't have a strong enough vision. But in these last 3 years, as I've been coaching, as I've been working with people, as my own shifts and changes, it's gotten clear to me the thing that I really focus on with my clients and myself is, where do I not say yes to myself? I help my clients see, where do they not say yes to themselves? Where are they more likely to say yes to their husband? Where are they more likely to say yes to their children? Where are they more likely to say yes to their business? Where are they more likely to put others ahead of themselves? That conversation, that work that I do with my clients, that work that I do with myself has fueled me to feel like this is the direction that I want to go here, this podcast, and sharing with you. We will go through all kinds of rivers and valleys together. It's going to look like, where do you not say yes to you in your spiritual life? Where do you not say yes to you in your relationships? Where do you not say yes to you in your health and well-being? Where do you not say yes to you in your financial life? Where do you not say yes to you in your day-to-day life? And we will cover these things over the next series. I am so excited to be here and to be sharing this with you. So I shared with you a little bit about my love for radio when I was a child and my desire to come and do a show with me. So I fell in love with coaching through a series of steps of putting my practice together. I came into my work as a person who went to social work school and did not want to pursue being a social worker. And that path led me to doing some other things. Somebody introduced me to shiatsu, which was, shiatsu literally means finger pressure, and shiatsu is based on the principles of acupuncture, and it's a no needle approach to the body, but you're using acupuncture principles. So we have energy pathways that run through our bodies, and what shiatsu is using finger pressure, elbow pressure, knee pressure to help bring those areas into balance. So I was introduced to that actually before I went to social work school. And when social work school didn't feel like the right fit for me, I started looking at shiatsu and what I loved about it. And what I loved about it was that it was about bringing the body into balance. Shiatsu believes that the body always wants to be in a state of health. And it's not healthy. It's because there is an aspect in us, in our minds, in our spirit that is not healthy. And it's creating a physical issue in the body. So, for example, perhaps we are stuck in a grief pattern and we can't shift that. And shiatsu would say, well, that's lung. There's probably something going on in your lungs. Maybe you have some respiratory issues, or there's something where you always feel that there's a tenderness here. So things like that. And that really made sense to me. I thought, well, it made sense to me that our emotions would affect us in our body. Like it just intuitively resonated with me. I didn't have any necessarily, I didn't have any facts for that, right? But it just inside it resonated so true with me. I thought, I believe this. I just, I just do, and I want to pursue it. I went to shiatsu school. I became a shiatsu practitioner, and I loved it. I loved what I was able to do working with my clients. And then that work fueled me to tell my clients, the way to make your sessions last really is to do yoga. And so I started to teach yoga because I thought, I want to give my clients more tools to be able to deepen their relationship with themselves and so that they can do it on their own, whereas shiatsu was me doing it for them. So I started offering yoga sessions and I had a yoga studio. Was introduced to coaching and I thought, oh my gosh, coaching allows me to put together what I wanted to do in social work school, but it didn't really fit for me. And so I was able to put together a more holistic approach. And so that is why I have been really passionate about coaching for the last 12 years. And so I bring this to you because I want you to know who I am, what I'm about. You have a little bit of idea of what I'm about and why I'm so passionate about saying yes to you and how that can change your life. Because what I know about my journey is that it's not that different from yours. I do believe that we all have within us a desire to find work that we love, we feel connected to, we feel good about. We want to have a community of people who see us, know us. We want to feel loved. We want to feel happy. We want to feel at peace. When I was on my journey of finding work that felt right for me, being in sales, which is how I started off business, there were aspects of it that I really liked, but it wasn't really who I was and what I wanted to do here. And that sent me to social work school. And then I ended up in shiatsu school. And that was wonderful. And I loved the work I did. And then I started seeing, well, what else could I do? And what else could I offer people? And so this journey of discovery is about saying yes to you. And that's how it unfolds. And so many times we think we need to know, well, what is it going to look like? And it's a willingness to be in relationship with ourselves, with our internal guidance, because we're all guided. But in this busy world where things are bombarded at us and people tell us who we should be or how we should be, whether it's societally or your family or school or religion, you kind of easily can get disconnected from what you want to do and where you want to go. That voice that feels like it's guiding you doesn't feel very strong. So saying yes to you is about giving yourself permission to start to tune in, to start to listen, to start to take some steps towards that. It's not knowing the whole picture. One of the things I love to do is to play with watercolors. I'm not particularly good at it. Some things come out really great. Some things come out not so great. But I never know exactly what it's going to look like. I just get this sense of, well, let's put some paint over here and see what happens. Sometimes it takes me into a direction I didn't expect it to go. And I do believe that is what it's like here for us. And that's why it's really about giving yourself permission to start to tune in, start to listen. My intention every time that I offer you a podcast is to give you something that you can walk away with so that you can take some steps towards creating that which you desire. And as we said, we're letting go of 2024. We're moving into 2025. So one takeaway that I would love for you to have from this episode, my first episode, is to start to tune in. And how do you do that? Most of my clients really struggle with this. In this world of busyness, most of us don't pause very much. And that's okay. It's good to know. I always tell my clients, change is a 3-part process. First part is awareness. So here we are. Step 1, awareness. So having the awareness that, oh yeah, I move really fast. My days are packed. I wake up in the morning, maybe it's 5:30, maybe it's 6 o'clock, whatever time it is. If you're noticing, you start really early and you go, 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 and all the spaces in your day get filled up with activities, or they get filled up with your scrolling, or they get filled up with watching Netflix, or they get filled up with running around, doing stuff for other people. Good to know, good to notice. So, like I said, here's your one takeaway from this episode. Start to tune in. Notice what your days are like. Notice how full they are. Notice what gets your time. You can't get to step 2 until you're aware of step 1. Step 1 is awareness. Good to know. What is your crazy busy day filled with? Start to pay attention. Write it down. Look at what gets your time. Who gets your time? That's all you have to do, is become aware. And then let's see what happens. You're just beginning the journey. So start from where you are. That's the only place you can start from. I'm going to botch this story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So there's a course that I used to take, and one of the stories one of the leaders would talk about is that you can't get to Chicago from Boston if you're in California, right? You got to know where you are to get to where you're going. So find out where you are. So much of the work I do with my clients is helping them get conscious, because so much of what I find people doing, and I know what I did before I started to get clarity, is that so much of what you're doing is unconscious. You're not even aware of it. You might not be that present to what you are doing. But until you get conscious of what's really going on, things don't change. So awareness is the first step. So start to tune in. Start to pay attention this week. What's really going on? Like I said, the 10th of the month is my birthday. And I think the greatest gift that I can give to you is helping you get conscious, helping you become aware. Because once you have awareness, you start to have power. When you are unconscious, you can't change anything. And the key to changing is your awareness. So many times people want to underestimate the power of awareness. But awareness, like I said, is your power. So this week, tune in, pay attention. What's going on? Where are you putting your time? Who gets your time? And then pay attention to how you feel about that. You don't have to change anything. All you have to do is become aware and find out where that takes you. So I am so grateful for your listening in, for your taking time to pay attention to you. Because I know that is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. So in your busy day, as you're running around, doing your stuff, getting shit done, put an eye onto what's actually going on here. Where am I putting my time? Where am I putting my attention? Because know that when you say yes to these things, you're also saying no to other things. So, my friends, I say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for saying yes to listening in to me, to putting attention on this podcast. Please share it if you found value from it. Please leave a comment. I look forward to deepening our connection, to getting to know you, and to continuing you saying yes to you and discovering why you don't. I'm Claudia Braun, mindset and lifestyle coach for busy professional women. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.